Hey y'all, it's Anime K-Man, and today I'm going to be reviewing episode 24 of Utau. And I gotta say, this episode was pretty damn lit, my goodness. And let me explain why. This episode finally explains through natural dialogue why everyone ages so fast. Because they explain that Delagranzo was actually originally from a piece of Earth that they lifted up and they transported it to another location. And the reason why people age so fast is because they had to artificially adjust the environment. And people are artificially modified, so there is quick aging at times, to the point where some people actually need a sidekick to survive. And it's also the reason why people transform into like creatures, some people. And I really love that. It's a natural way of explaining why the hell does everyone just age so fucking quick. It's because of that. And when I heard all that info, I was just mind fucking blown. And then I was more mind blown when they mentioned that the reason why Delagranzo separated from the Earth was because there was going to be a meteor disaster. So they saved as many people as they could, and they transported a person out of the original Earth while the meteors hit the Earth. And that's why Earth the way it is. And that's why Earth is less technologically advanced than Delagranzo, because Delagranzo, before the meteors hit, Earth was technologically advanced, and the technologically advanced portion was able to separate themselves from the original Earth. And that's why the Earth where Takia is from is not as technologically advanced. So I love that kind of lore building. Taking a bit of science of the meteors hitting the dinosaurs and just shifting it so that the lore in this series feels much more natural and reasonable is actually a bit of nice writing. So I gotta give credit to the writing staff. The writing staff was amazing this episode, because all this did not feel like a bullshit exposition dump. It felt like a natural scene because Takia was able to talk with the Divine Emperor, which is actually Ayumi in disguise. To think that was the actual identity was fucking mind-blowing too. And I like how it also simultaneously had the information presented to Del, Katz, and Amanda too. Well, you had Takia hearing the information from Ayumi themselves. The others were learning it from the AI. So that was also another cool feature about this episode, I gotta say. And that's why I felt from a story standpoint this episode was amazing, because we learned all of this naturally. We learned about the origins of Delagranzo and Takia's Earth. And additionally, we find out the Divine Emperor is Ayumi, and that we also get out of the mind control completely. Which is also another nice factor about this episode, because we made so much plot progression while learning so much about the setting, and none of this felt rushed, surprisingly. Which is a tough balancing act, because in most animes, getting all this info with the plot simultaneously being advanced would feel like it's being rushed to hell in the hands of most incompetent writers. So that's why I felt the story bits in this episode were amazing. And then I love how it even goes back to episode 1, where it explains that when real Shoujo and Ayumi were hit, they were actually transported to Delagranzo, which was crazy. So that's pretty much explains where the original Ayumi was. All this time working with like the tech in Delagranzo with the mother, and they actually captured Shoujo, but unfortunately he escaped. That shit was crazy. And you see him even taunt Takia too. So I also love too how, aside from getting all that advancement in the plot, you even get real Shoujo being built up as the main and last protagonist too simultaneously. So in all, I actually love this stuff. This episode just raised the stakes, raised it to like an extremely large extent. And then in addition to all of that, what I love about this episode, aside from raising the stakes, was it also makes sure that it doesn't forget that Eriko was around there too, because you see her also chasing around her Shoujo. So all in all, pretty nice elements. And it was a heartfelt moment where got her memories back, and Takia hugged her. That was such a beautiful and heartwarming sequence when you see him smiling and crying. I loved it. And I like how they also put Sailus back in the mix too, because even Takia was telling to remember Sailus, and it was nice. Now, even though we didn't hear Salus's voice, we know that at the very least her presence was also helping, get back to normal. It wasn't just talking. And I love it, seeing like this family moment. And that's why I felt this episode had so many intense emotional bits. And that's why I felt from a story standpoint, it was perfection. And from a character standpoint, it was amazing to think that we would get some, you know, character development, because you see her get her memories back, and to see, and when Takia tells, you know, not to go back with him yet, so that there isn't an uproar. I actually like that, showing off Takia's emotional maturity, because even though, yes, as a father, we all know he would love to be with, you know, at as many moments as possible. He knows that pretty much, he knows that things would be better for the greater good if Yuno stays there for now. So I love that. It shows you Takia's maturity and Yuno's, because she's down with that too, at least until things cool down. So I love that. And you get Ayumi character development, because since this is the original Yumi, and we know she is not the assertive type, to see this Ayumi here actually assertive and saying harsh things like, there has to be a sacrifice, because if there isn't, Earth and Delagranza will collide and there'll be an explosion. That shit was crazy, showing off Ayumi's character development, because she's, at that point, it shows you she's thinking about the greater good. And also, she actually helped manage Delta Granza for a certain amount of time, which shows you she's gained leadership abilities, which, as we saw in the Ayumi arc, she didn't have much of those. So that's crazy to think. They would take a character we thought would be unimportant, and they utilized this character to a great extent, operating things behind the scenes. And it was also crazy to see her apologizing to Takia, saying stuff like, I apologize for what happened to Sailors, and she's going to take it into her own responsibility, that it's her own fault. I love that too, seeing how it's actually reflecting on her mind. So all in all, great character development for Ayumi and Yuno. And additionally, I like how this episode also has Deo and Carts interact with Takia, and you see them help Takia get into contact with the Emperor. All in all, these were also amazing sequences from a story standpoint, just making sure even like the seemingly less important characters are utilized. So I loved that. And that's why I felt it did substantially awesome from the character standpoint. And then the animation and art, they were damn good. The sword choreography was great. It was intense. You had Yuno do some kicks to Takia while she still didn't have her memories. And then the scene where Yuno gets her memories back and she hugs Takia were beautiful too. So all in all, visuals were great. And the voice performances from anyone was amazing. And that's why I'm going to rate this episode a 10 out of 10. My goodness, it fired off with all cylinders, and I cannot wait to see what's going to happen next. So anyways, everyone, these are my thoughts on, episode 24. Be sure to comment on your thoughts on the episode in the comment section below. Rate the video, subscribe, share it. And I'll see you guys later if you come back for more, because I'm going to eagerly anticipate what's going to happen next. My goodness, yo. This has been the best, arc by far. Alright, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great and safe day. Bye-bye.